Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Something Else podcast. This is the last episode of the solo series, so you know what that means. We're at the end of the road, just like Boyz II Men said. So, yes, over the last 3 weeks, I can't believe it, I was able to even do that, because I was even able to consistently record these solo episodes, because I'm not gonna lie. Some days I was like, it's gonna be a no for me, and but other days I was like, you know what, I got this. Let's just do this. We can do this. Everything is okay. So this is the last episode of the solo series. Thank you for tuning in. If you've been watching, if you're new here, welcome to the Something Else podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. So this is gonna kind of be my wrap up, and it's the last week of January. It's literally the last week. Can you guys believe that? Let me check here, because where is the time going? Yeah, the last week of January. Where is time going? Wait a minute. Where is time going? I mean, achoo. And the month was over. I didn't even finish the sneeze, and January was a wrap. Anyways, time is literally moving. But I kind of wanted to touch on this, because I feel like a lot of people have been struggling with this, or maybe it's just me. But let's get into it. Burnout. What? I want to say coming into adulthood and really beginning to grow up and gain more adult responsibilities. And I use that because some of us had adult responsibilities even when we were kids, whether it was emotionally, financially, whatever the case is. Some of us had those kind of responsibilities. But really having bills and stuff, things you have, obligations, let's call them adult obligations. It is really hard to kind of manage and juggle that when you're still trying to figure yourself out. I mean, gosh, give me some room to figure it out. Burnout is a real thing. And let me tell you if you're burnt out. Sometimes you're just oh, I'm tired, but burnout has a specific I'm tired. When you're burnt out, you basically feel you kind of just don't want to do anything. For me, I don't really think it's a feeling of, I'm depressed or anything like that. It's just, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. That is why it's important to rest as hard as you hustle. There is no prize for burning yourself out and running yourself into the ground. There's absolutely no prize. There's no badge of honor. Oh, great, thank you for your contribution and running yourself into the dirt. There's no badge of honor for that. I want to be the first to tell you. If you don't feel motivated, when I say not feeling motivated, I don't mean, I don't want to do that today. I mean, you don't feel motivated at all. You can't even find the motivation somewhere. You don't feel motivated, you can't focus, you're not really interested in the things that you used to be enthusiastic about. Maybe you might be suffering from some burnout. And that can happen with different things. Career, relationship, it can happen with so many different things. I think people try to mask the feeling by hustling harder, but that only literally makes it worse. Because the more you hustle harder when you're burnt out, you're just this is making me hate this even more. So resting as hard as you hustle and work and grind, whatever the case is, that is so important. And it isn't, I always thought resting and vacation looked okay, I'm going to be in Tahiti. I'm going to be in Bora Bora with the sun shining on my face. Hand me that pina colada. Someone's going to be feeding me grapes while someone is massaging my feet and the wind is going to be blowing and the crystal aqua blue waters. I mean, it's going to be so clear. I could see that earring that Kim Kardashian dropped in the ocean. That's how clear the water is going to be. But it's not even like that. Sometimes resting is just honestly taking time out for yourself. Like not doing anything all day. I'm not talking about neglecting your dire responsibilities, but things that can kind of wait or that you can kind of put off. Some weekends, bro, I don't do anything. I don't do anything. As long as my laundry basket is not overflowing, I'm not washing clothes. As long as my house is not filthy, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to lay down. I can do that another day. I'm just going to lay down and I'm going to sleep. Or I'm going to lay down and I'm just going to watch TV. I'm not going to kill myself after just killing myself for friggin' 40 hours all week. I'm going to take at least one day or a half a day and just... That's what I'm going to do. And I think other people should adopt that process too. Like there's no, again, I said this a few minutes ago, there's no badge of honor for running yourself into the ground. You're not going to get a pat on your back. And there's just like this culture of just hustle, 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 especially in this country. Hustle, 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 hustle. That's why people are not living long. I hate to say it. And they say America is the greatest country in the world, but the people don't live long here. Because hustle, 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 stress, stress, hustle, hustle, pay bills. Like, wait a minute. How about you give me some time to recuperate after a 40-hour week and just relax, mentally get myself together. I've been noticing that too. It seems like there's not enough time in the actual day. I'm like, where is the time going? Like, what is happening? I feel like I've done like 10 million things in a day, and then by the end of the night, I'm like, how much stuff did I do today? How much stuff did I... What just happened here? It just feels like a blur. And I said this on my Instagram. I was like, January has felt a little bit like a blur and kind of like a drag. I've been feeling it. But usually, I gave myself some grace and I was like, that's okay. Because sometimes the beginning of the year kind of does feel like that. You're just coming back from the holidays. You're trying to crush your goals and, keep up with all your New Year's resolution and things like that. It's so easy to just... It feels like you're in like a whirlpool or in some kind of blender just spinning around. Like you're dizzy. So if you've been feeling like that in this first month of January, trust me, you're not the only one. I've been feeling it too. I'm pretty sure others have been feeling it as well. Like just take your time. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like pre-pandemic and post-pandemic life, what type of gap glitch happened in the Matrix? I mean, what just happened? I don't remember like life being this chaotic before 2019 or before March 2020 to be specific. Like what kind of gap glitch, what hammer broke the simulation in 2020? I mean, appalling. It's just I feel like things are like a little bit different now. Like even the way people are, like, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened? What happened? What was in the oxygen in the world during 2020? Wow. I mean, that we may never know. I feel like now there's more of a rush. I'm like, wait a second. What are we rushing? What are we killing ourselves for? I think I'm like, what did 2020 even teach us? It's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy when life is at a standstill, when things don't really seem sure. That's when for some people there's the most clarity, there's the most togetherness, there's the most unity. But when things get back to normal, are we in the apocalypse? What is going on? Like, are people losing their actual minds? Is brain matter flowing from out of the ears? Is everyone okay? It can really, really feel like that. That's why I said I don't remember this being a thing for me like a few years ago. But now I'm like, dang, girl is feeling a little burnt out. But you know what that means? That means I need to take my own advice. The advice that I'm giving you guys, that means I have to take it. Rest as hard as you hustle. Burnout is real. Feeling unmotivated is real. And sometimes just not wanting to do it, have anything to do with anything, is real too. I want to say there's nothing wrong with that. Just don't let it get to the point where it begins to defeat you and defeat your purpose. But feeling burnt out, there's actually nothing wrong with that. That's normal, and it's something that can be worked through. But that does take for you to prioritize yourself, where you want to go, what you want to achieve, and just kind of recalibrate. So, main takeaway here, recalibrating is the key to moving through burnout. I've been trying to recalibrate, just kind of like repurpose, just kind of readjust and kind of get my mind back together. Because I'm not going to lie, even with work, sometimes I'm like, no, I actually don't want to today. I actually do not. I actually don't. I'm actually not going to. It really can feel like that. So once I actually started to feel like, it's giving call out, I was like, you know what? Let me try to get back on track. Because if you let yourself get off track, you'll get off track. And by the time you look, the track is going to be 239 miles away, and it's just going to be a whole challenge to get back on. So before you get off track, readjust, recalibrate, take some time, woosah, and come back. This was a very impromptu episode. This is the ending of the solo series. So I didn't want to keep you guys too long because we have another episode next week. That one's not going to be a solo. I'm going to do everything in my power not to make it a solo. I'm all soloed out. I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is very impromptu. Most of these episodes have been impromptu, but of course, you know, I'm still going to come, I'm going to talk, and I'm going to show face, and I'm going to come on here. So if you haven't, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram. And you know, you can find us anywhere else you get your podcast. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.